So we are now going to look at some more arithmetic things. We're going to get to series in just a second. First, let's warm up. Okay, it says find a sub 6. Remember, arithmetic means to add. So we're going to be adding a d value. Here's a1 and here's d. To get to a sub 6 is a sub 1, which we have right there, a sub 1, plus how many d's do you need to get to number 6? We'll need 5 d's, which is 2x plus 6. So this is just a fancy way of saying, can you simplify this algebraic expression? And a sub 6, the formula is 10 plus 3, 13x plus 31. Okay, we are now going to look at a couple of terms. Okay, using the terms given, find the following information. And we always use the explicit formula. Always use the explicit. So we're never really going to use that recursive formula. Okay, remember, explicit formula for arithmetic, a sub n, is a1 plus n minus 1d. And just got you warmed up, so we're just going to jump right into this. A sub 3 and a sub 8. This is kind of like a system. I need to write a formula for a sub 3. A sub 3 is a1 plus how many d's to get to 3? 2 d's. Let's do it again for a sub 8. A sub 8 is a1, but then you would need 7 d's. The answer to this is 13. The answer to this is 3. And so what we have is a system, an algebraic system here. You can do elimination or substitution, but don't forget we also have a program, and I'm going to do solve a system. I've got 1, 2, 13, 1, 7, and 3. So go ahead and use that system or do elimination. If you're using the program, your x's are like your a's and your y's are like your d's. And so we get a1 is 17, and the d value, or the y value, is negative 2. Okay, to write a formula a sub n, you need to know those two things. Okay, let's just put that right here in the notes. To write a formula, you need a number 1, and you need a d, which we just found. So now I can go ahead and write an a sub n formula. For this sequence, a sub 1 is 17, and then I would need n minus 1 d's, which is negative 2. Be sure to use parentheses. So distribute this in, negative 2n plus 2 plus 19 plus 19. I'm going to see if that is the right formula indeed. So let's see. Negative 2. Let's see. Let's check the third term. I'll plug in a 3 plus 19. So if I plug in a 3, does it make 13? Good. Okay, let's try it again. Now I'm going to plug in 8 to see if it makes the 8th term. Does it make 3? Perfect. Okay, since my formula is working, I'm going to go ahead and replace this with 100. And the 100th term is negative 181. Okay, let's try this again. I've got a couple of terms. So this is practicing explicit formula and plugging in terms. The 4th term is 3. Okay, so that's a sub 4. The 20th term, a sub 20. So let's go ahead and make a system. I need to make a formula for a sub 4. A sub 4 is a1 plus how many d's? 3 d's. And my second equation is a1 plus how many d's to get to number 20? The 20th term would be 19 d's, and that's 35. Okay, once again, please solve the system any way you like. You could always do elimination just by multiplying every term here on top by negative. That could help you find d rather quickly. Or use the program. So I'm hoping for d, you got 2, and a sub 1 is negative 3. Okay, now it's time to write a formula, a sub n. A sub n equals, how do you write a formula? You always start in the beginning, negative 3 plus n minus 1 times d, which is a 2. So the simplified formula would be 2n minus 5. I'm going to see if that is indeed correct. So let's see if our formula for the fourth term comes out right. So let's do 2 times 4 minus 5. Oh, good, it made the fourth term. Now let's try 20. Let's see if the 20th term is indeed 35. Perfect. And what do they want me to find? The 100th term? Not a problem. I'll just plug in 100. 195. The moral of the story here, when you are given two terms, write two explicit formulas, generate a system. Solve it any way you want. Okay, so that's explicit formula, and we do need to be very freshened up on that in order to study series. Okay, so series is a little different than sequence, but they are going to use each other. So a sequence is a list of terms, or you could say entries. Let's just stick with that. A list of terms. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to make a finite sequence. Now a series is the sum of a list of terms. So what's the big difference? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. It's a sequence that's being added. Okay, so you could say the sum of a sequence. So if you're adding up a bunch of numbers, they call it a series. If it's just a list with commas, you call it a sequence. Okay, so this example here, this is definitely a series. I think I showed you something like this before, but let's do it again. This is a trick. Remember the trick? How you take 1 and you add it to 80? So 1 plus 80 makes 81. Let's take the second largest with the second smallest, and those two also make 81. In fact, every time you do that, you're going to get 81. The question is, how many sets of 81 are there? Since there are, 80, cut that in half, that would be 40 sets. That would be 81 times 40. Drop the 0, that's a 4, so the sum is 3,240. Okay, now that's the trick. So let's go ahead and show you the formulas here. Maybe you'll see where they came from. First of all, the formula for a term, a sub n, is a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. The sum of the terms, you're going to use a capital S, and you have to put subscript n. Okay, that is very important. That tells you the number of terms. Okay, you must label it. Are you adding 5 things, 10 things, 20 things? The formula is n times a sub 1 plus a sub n, all over 2. Now the reason why it's n over 2, when I added 80 things, I actually made sets, so you have to divide by 2. That was 40 sets. And what's this business here? A sub 1 is the first term, and a sub n is the last term. So if you're adding s sub 80 things, that would be a sub 1, that would be a sub 80. See how that works? The first and the last, and then n divided by 2 is the number of sets. So you've actually been doing this formula every time you do that trick. Okay, we're going to go and officially do this the right way with the formula now. So first of all, is this arithmetic? Okay, I believe that it is. The d that they keep adding is 4.5. Okay, so this is a number 1, a number 2, a number 3, a number 4, and this is a number, I don't know. Let's call it a sub n. So it seems like I might have to do an a sub n formula. Okay, do an a sub n formula, you need the first term, which I know is negative 12, plus n minus 1 times d, which is 4.5. So let's go ahead and clean this up. 4.5n, what's negative 12 minus 4.5? That's going to be negative 16.5. Now I know the a sub n term is 60. So let's go ahead and put that 60 into the formula. 4.5n minus 16.5. So go ahead and solve for n. 60, add 16.5, then divide by 4.5. So do you think this could be the 3.5 term? The 11.27 term? This is a nice number. This is a whole number right here. This is the 17th term. This is actually a sub 17. Okay, now that I know how many terms there are, I can go ahead and find the sum. Okay, s sub n. So how many terms are we adding? 17. So you must write s sub 17. Right there is going to be 1 point for you. Okay, what's the n? How many terms are there? 17. Okay, in the parentheses, the first plus the last. Negative 12 plus 60 all over 2. So the sum of those 17 numbers is 408. Okay. You have to find out how many terms there are, and then you have to write that there and then use the formula. Find the sum of the first 10 terms. Okay, well here's a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3. They want me to go all the way to a sub 10. So I know how many terms I have to add. I'm going to add up 10 things. I'm going to do an s sub 10 problem. And the problem starts off with n, which is 10. And then in parentheses, it's the first one plus the, I'm actually going to have to find the 10th term. Okay, let's go over here and do some work. We have to do a sub n formula. This is arithmetic, and the d is negative 10. So a sub 10 is, how do you find a term? Start at the beginning, 116. And how many d's would you need? 9 d's. So a sub 10 is 26. Okay, now you can come back over here to your formula. So 116 is the first term. 26 is the last term. Let's go ahead and do our calculation. Make sure you label s sub 10 is 710. Now let me just give you a pointer. 116 is nice. 106 is nice, 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 all the way to 20. These are nice. If you do this and get a messy decimal, something is wrong because a pile of nice numbers is going to come out nice. Okay, just a quick check to see if you made a typo. Okay. Well, I remember doing this. How do we do this? This is the formula. This is your starting input. So your inputs are 1, 2, 3, all the way to 90. Whoa. Okay, I might have to do some dots. So let's put 1 in. Putting 1 in, we get 1. Remember sigma? Sigma means to add, plus. Let's put 2 in. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Let's put 3 in. 3 minus is negative 3. Okay, dot. Let's go all the way to the end. Let's put in the last number. Let's put in 90. What's 3 minus 180? Negative 177. So we've got a lot of numbers here, and we're going to sum them up. So we are going to sum, how many terms are there? Here I put in 1, that's the first term. I put in 2 to make the second term. I put in 3. I think there's 90 terms. We're going to add up all 90 of these things. Okay, the formula says you write 90 parentheses over 2. The first term is 1. The last term is negative 177. So the sum of these 90 things is negative 7,920. The sum of 90 things. Okay. Oh, let's do some word problems. A bookshelf has 7 shelves of different widths. That's weird. Each shelf is narrower than the shelf below it. So we've got shelf, 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 shelf. Maybe this wall's like a triangle or something. The bottom 3 shelves are 36 inches, 31 inches, 26 inches. It seems like these shelves are an arithmetic sequence. Arithmetic, and the D is minus 5. Okay, the shelves decrease by the same amount. What is the width of the top shelf? Okay, so this is A sub 1, the first shelf. A sub 2, the second shelf. How many shelves are there? It says 7 shelves. So A sub 7 is the last shelf. So they want me to find the top shelf, A sub 7. A sub 7 is, to find a term, you start with the first term, A1, 36. And how many D's are we going to need? Not 7, but 6 D's. So A sub 7 is 36 minus 36. How about some units? 6 inches. The tiniest shelf in the world. What is the total shelf space of all 7 shelves? Okay, so they want me to add up all the shelves. So that's going to be the S, the sum of how many? 7. The formula goes N, which is 7. And then the first plus the last. The first one is 36. And then the last one way up here would be 6 inches all over 2. So we've got 7 times 36 plus 6. The sum of those 7 shelves. Now none of these are decimals, so I hope your number's nice. How many inches? A lot of inches here. 30 plus 30 plus 20, adding them all up, 147 inches. If you do the calculations and you get 1,000,000 inches, hang on, wait, that doesn't seem right. Just do a little brain check to make sure your answer is kind of matching your picture. To train new employees, an employer offers a bonus after 30 workdays. Okay, they must turn in 1 report on the first day. The number of reports for each subsequent day must increase by 2. So the first day they have to turn in 1 report, and they're learning the ropes. The next day it must increase by 2, so they must turn in 3. The next day they have to turn in 5. Oh. What is the minimum number of reports they'll have to turn in over the 30 days? Okay, so this is A1. That's day 1. Here's day 2. Here's day 3. Now, they could do more work. They could stay after, of course, but they have to at least turn in this many reports. And then A sub 30. How many reports on the 30th day? Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is definitely arithmetic. And the D is 2. Okay, let's find the 30th term. A sub 30. Start with the first one, 1. How many D's? We're going to need 29 D's, and D is 2. So on the 30th day, this employee should be able to do how many reports? 59 reports. Wow. Okay, but that was not the question. It said, what's the minimum number of reports that they have to turn in over these 30 days? All of these reports, if they want to get the bonus. It better be a nice bonus. So we have to sum how many things? How many terms are we adding? 30 terms, S sub 30. S sub 30 is, using that nice formula, how many reports? I can't wait to see your answer.